Good evening. It was a rare all-nighter here at Queen's Park. The controversial bill to squash a judge's ruling with the notwithstanding clause and slash Toronto City Council almost in half is one big step closer to being passed after MPPs debated it all night long in the legislature. Amid concerns, Toronto's election on October 22nd is in jeopardy.
By working overnight on behalf of the people, we are sending an important message. We are proving that we are here for the people.
It was a rare all-night debate in the legislature, not seen in some 20 years, since Mike Harris was passing a bill to amalgamate Toronto. The Premier insists the all-nighter was necessary.
It's about building housing. We're in a housing crisis here. It's about transit that takes an hour and a half from the suburbs to get downtown to your job, 3 hours a day. It's about building proper infrastructure that the city needs and the GTA needs. This is the economic engine of Ontario, and we have to get it moving.
But in reality, the government had to move fast after the city clerk warned last week holding a fair election on October 22nd is virtually impossible amidst all the uncertainty. Inside, it was quiet in the wee hours of the night, while outside, protesters vented their anger. But that didn't stop the mandatory 6.5 hours of debate required to pass the bill that will shrink council from 47 wards to 25. Bill 31 is expected to pass in the legislature this Thursday after second and third readings. So how is this going to play out in the next few days? Well, tomorrow, a panel of 3 judges will hear the government's request for a stay of the ruling last week that found that it was a violation of the Charter of Rights. Well, if the government gets a stay, the election will go ahead with 25 wards. But here's the interesting part. If the government loses its appeal after the election, what happens then? Is the election null and void? Will there have to be another election? Nobody can seem to answer that question here at Queen's Park because we're in uncharted territory and nobody knows. But everybody has the same question.
What happens if there's a stay?
Oh. Wow.
It's surround sound.
You guys are on the same wavelength here. Yeah, I mean, let's wait and see what happens tomorrow morning. If there's a stay, that will be an interesting development.
And to complicate matters even more, the city has promised to challenge this week's bill with a notwithstanding clause in the courts when it passes. That means there will be 2 separate challenges to both government bills that are trying to downsize council.
Entirely in a flux of chaos. I think that's what is before us right now. It's going to take some time to unravel and make sense of it, especially since you've got 2 different judicial programs going side by side concurrently. This is the appeal of course, Bill 5, as well as what will be the appeal of Bill 31 in 2 separate courtrooms at 2 separate times, but running concurrently.
Now, after Bill 31 passes, candidates who haven't registered yet for the 25-ward race will have 48 hours to do so. And despite the city clerk's concerns that the election on October 22nd is in jeopardy because of the tight timelines, the province here is insisting it will be able to go ahead as planned.